Hello and welcome to this presentation on the evolution of the sport of basketball. The video will begin by discussing the origins and foundations of the sport in the late 1800s and move to its professional development, subsequent commercialization, and the current issues facing the sport. The origins and foundations of basketball as a sport. The game of basketball was started by a Presbyterian minister named James Naismith in the late 1800s, after he was instructed to invent an indoor game for his students at the Young Men's Christian Association, commonly known as the YMCA, training school in Springfield, Massachusetts. The class was renowned for being misbehaved, and the new game was intended to keep them focused. Naismith's idea involved two teams throwing a ball into a raised box, nailed to a wall. A peach basket was sometimes used to the same effect. The development of professional basketball. Naismith's game spread because the graduates of the YMCA travelled around the country, taking the sport with them. In 1898, the first professional basketball league was formed, with each player earning $2.50 for home games and $1.25 for away games. The Basketball Association of America was founded on 6th of June 1946 in New York City and is now the National Basketball Association. The 1980s saw the beginning of a boom in commercialization within professional basketball. At the time, there was an influx of very popular and talented players, such as Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and of course, Michael Jordan. This, along with the famous rivalry between the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers, added to the popularity of the sport. In 1988 and 1989, the Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, and the Minnesota Timberwolves were added to the NBA, after surging popularity in the 1980s had forced the league to expand. The willingness of loyal fans to watch their teams play, purchase team merchandise, jerseys, and other products endorsed by their favorite athletes ensures that the team owners, players, and other support personnel and stakeholders benefit very well. NBA teams have become more than just teams. They are international brands well known all around the world. NBA team values, the top 5. This graph from Forbes magazine outlines the top 5 NBA teams in key financial areas, such as their current value, one-year change, revenue and operating income, all expressed in American dollars. Within the NBA, and all 30 teams competing, the total teams' value rose an average of 30% to $509 million compared to last financial year. Forbes states that this increase was mainly due to new TV deals, stadium and facility improvements, and a collective bargaining agreement, which has reduced player costs from 57% of revenues to just over 50%. The current commissioner, David Stern, has worked hard to improve the financial state of the league. However, that has come at the cost of the fans in some respects, as the reason for the lockout were closely related to these financial goals. The New York Knicks' operating income of just over $82 million was the highest in the league for the third consecutive year. Their overall value has mainly been due to the renovation of the Madison Square Garden, worth in excess of $980 million. In further breaking down the top 5 financial NBA teams, this pie chart shows the percentages based on the total current team value, compared with the aggregate total of the other top 5 NBA teams. The New York Knicks take the largest slice of the pie, at 25%, which is partly due to the huge refurbishment of their playing stadium. The current commissioner of the NBA is David Stern, who has been since 1984. In professional basketball, and the NBA specifically, the commissioner acts as the chief executive would in another business, and fulfills the same tasks and duties. As commissioner of the NBA, he and the board have been involved with the building of 28 new arenas and the introduction of 7 new NBA franchises and 6 relocations. Stern has provided leadership on the expansion of not only the league, but the international sport of basketball. The WNBA has a similar structure. However, it employs a president instead of a commissioner. The NBA take a lot of the financial pressure off the WNBA by providing financial subsidies for underperforming franchises, which is common in the league. The NBA is divided into two conferences, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Within those two conferences, there are three divisions, which each consist of 5 teams. Current issues. The collective bargaining agreement is the contract between the NBA, the Commissioner and the 30 team owners, and the NBA Players Association. It dictates the rules of trade, athlete contracts, distribution of revenues, the NBA draft, and the salary cap. Varying opinions have, in the past, seen partial lockouts in regular season, and affected players, owners, training staff, and fans alike. There have been 4 lockout periods in the history of the NBA: 1995, 1996, the 1998 and 99 season, and the 2011 season. These disputes have been an ongoing problem for the NBA over the last 10 years. The 1995 owner-imposed lockout lasted 2.5 months and was based on the refusal from players to vote on the luxury tax that was due to be introduced. The 1996 lockout only lasted for a few hours and was due to a dispute worth $50 million in profit sharing from television revenue. The 1998 and 1999 lockout was due to salary cap changes proposed by the majority of franchise owners. In 2011, the lockout began after the 2005 CBA expired. That season was reduced to 66 games, down from 82. Drugs remain a contentious issue in most professional sports in the 21st century. The NBA is planning to adopt a test to determine whether players are on human growth hormones by autumn this year. This comes after a player tested positive and received a 20-game ban. With regard to the change in NBA leadership, it will come about on the 1st of February 2014, when the current Commissioner, David Stern, plans to step down and will be replaced by the current Deputy Commissioner, Adam Silver. Thank you for taking the time to listen to our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it and that it was informative. Thank you.